going to keep the jacket button, right? Oh, thank you. Chris, you did a double Windsor.
I did.
I just did a four-in-hand. Oops, sorry, I touched my thing. Say hello, Chris.
Hello, everybody.
There you go. See, that's oh, we're on TV. Sorry, hey, Chris, sorry. Hold on, I look okay. Hey, good evening, America. Tom Hanks with my friend Chris here. Many of us are fortunate to be celebrating this special evening together in Washington, D.C. And as we do, we know that millions of military caregivers are spending tonight showering their love and their compassion and care on someone who served our country. And we'd like to start tonight with a tribute in their honor. Please welcome the 82nd Airborne Division All-American Chorus performing Rise Up. Let me just get this one.
Broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round, and you can find the fighter, but I see it in you, so we're gonna walk it out and mountains, we gonna walk it out and
and I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day, and I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again, and we'll rise up, high like the waves, we'll rise up, in spite of the ache, we will rise up 1,000 times again for you, for you, for you, just for you.
When the silence isn't quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. Feels like dying. I promise we'll take the world to his feet. Move. Mountains, bring the world to his feet. Move. Mountains.
And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day, I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again for you, for you, for you, for you. All we need is hope. And for that we have each other. For that we have each other. We will rise, we will rise. We will rise.
I'll rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I will rise up 1,000 times again.
And we'll rise up, high like the waves, we'll rise up, in spite of the aches, we will rise 1,000 times again for you, for you, for you, for you.
We provide hope to millions of Americans who set aside their lives, both the lives they knew and the lives they had always imagined for themselves, to care for a loved one who pledged to defend our freedom and protect our nation.
To our nation's millions of hidden heroes and hidden helpers, we're here for you, today, tomorrow, and always.
With caregivers at the forefront today more than ever, it is critical that we keep in mind all of the spouses, parents, family members, neighbors, and friends who are working day in and day out to care for America's wounded, ill, or injured veterans at home.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Hidden Heroes Chair, Tom Hanks.
Hey, everybody. Table 19, your pizza is ready. Good evening. DC, Washington, D.C. Okay, all right. Remember that little thing that made us stay home and sit on the couch for a while? Well, we seem to have licked it just well enough, so we're back. We're out again. Hey, the community is out. And what better way to be jammed into a little too many tables in just the right sized room. Come on, it feels good. We're dressed up. And we're streaming live across America. Did you know that? So there are actually people doing at home what they have been doing for the last 2 years. Sitting and watching something on TV at home. But it's good to have you. Hey, everybody, let's give them all a wave there. Hey, folks at home. Tonight, yes, we're celebrating America's military caregivers, our nation's hidden heroes. And we are celebrating the millions of caregiver kids out there who are our hidden helpers. Because just like their mom and their dads, yeah. From toddlers to teenagers, they're out there and they're heroes too. We're also honoring an amazing champion of our caregivers and their families. Yes, it's America's sweetheart, Savannah Guthrie. Yes. She's here not only because of her stellar work that has helped Hidden Heroes, it's also because, let's face it, she's a little underexposed. She should be out there a little more often because it's not just the 3 hours a day she's on the Today Show every morning. We should make her work at night as well. Every celebration needs good music, so we're excited that our headline this evening will be platinum country music artist Chris Young is with us. If you were pulling up and you notice his rock and roll tour bus, yes, that is his, it's not mine. My rock and roll tour bus is parked over by the National Cathedral. Now, since I'm taking over Savannah's host duties this year, I really wanted to make a big splash, so I'm borrowing a trick from a dear friend of mine. For all of you caregiver kids watching, you won't remember this, but at the 1996 National Convention, Elizabeth Dole absolutely stole the show. Where is Elizabeth? She's out here, so there she is. Now, in 1996, I was 4 years old. No, she wasn't there just as the former Secretary of Transportation, or the Secretary of Labor, or the President of the American Red Cross, even though she was, in fact, all those things. She was there to support the candidacy of her husband, Senator Robert Dole from the great state of Kansas. Now, she took to the stage and she told the nation how Bob was the strongest, most compassionate, and most tender man she had ever known, and that he loved his country dearly. And Senator, that is exactly how I and everyone in this room, millions of Americans across the nation, will always remember Bob, Senator Dole, a great American from the great state of Kansas. He was a hero. He was a hero indeed, and a hero in his sense of responsibility, and his hero for his love of the United States of America. He was a hero to us all. Now, per tradition, Elizabeth started her speech that night from the stage there at the big national convention. Then, in this amazing moment, the senator said she didn't like talking to friends from behind podiums, so she descended the long, grand staircase to continue her speech from the floor, and the crowd went wild. So now I'm going to give the old Dole stole a try. I'm going to take a stroll. Somewhere on this stage is a set of stairs. Oh, here it is right here. Geez, it was black. I couldn't see it. So I'm going to take a Dole stroll, and I'm going to make friends because I don't like talking to friends from center stage. Actually, I adore talking to friends from center stage. How you doing, Chopper? Good to see you. Commander, what's going on? Hey, is that a Woody tattoo on your stomach? You're a nut. How are you, ladies? Big night for you. Big night? Really? You look fantastic. And I got to come over and say, hey, I'm just going to have a moment. Look, hey, there you go. You're looking good.
Thank you.
That's a gaudy tie. Just saying.
Oh, well.
I'm just kind of not fashion police. We need a microphone here because I have a question for Senator Dole. How are you tonight, Senator?
I'm doing great.
All right.
Doing great.
All right. Now, Senator, you are not going to leave this table until you finish your vegetables. All right? So, yeah.
Next time, though, try the heels.
Did you see how I struggled with those stairs? You know, this is how women get you, man. This is how, it's like you think you're doing a great job. You think you're doing fine. And then guess what? It turns out there's always some woman who can do the same job you do, only a little bit better. You know, I was making a joke about the vegetables, Senator, but forget it. You're not doing anything until you eat all those vegetables. That's what you do. Make me look bad in front of all these people. And by the way, I'm just going to try the heels thing. You know, if you saw Bosom Buddies in the 1980s, I'd put my time in heels, young lady. Thank you. By the way, in 1980, I was 6 years old. All right. Tonight, we're celebrating a milestone anniversary for the foundation, but we also have our sights very much set on the future. 10 years in, would we imagine that we would have grown under the Elizabeth Dole Foundation to this size in 10 years? I think, Senator, you have exceeded all expectations for the possibilities for Hidden Heroes. And I believe one of the things we talked about even back in that first year is that the work of the Hidden Heroes will never be done. There will always be a future for Hidden Heroes and a need for it. So, to tell us what that future looks like, please welcome the Elizabeth Dole Foundation CEO, the ever-exciting, dynamic Steve Schwab, ladies and gentlemen. Steve! All right. Now, can I just point out, that Steve is not wearing high heels either?
Tom, I gotta admit, watching you do the Dole stroll, you can't
Yeah.
leave yet.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can't leave yet.
All right.
Reminded me to encourage everyone here tonight, if you see a moment like this where you might see Tom walking down the stairs in heels or trying, make sure that you take your cameras out. If you're inspired, take a photo, put it online, and tag us on social media. Do me that favor? Great.
What is the, how do they tag it?
It's right here. I think it's right here
Hidden
somewhere.
here?
Where's the tag?
The tag.
It's
I heard it.
HHM Gala 22 hashtag, I think. Hashtag
Okay, let's go through.
HHM Gala
8
22.
Hidden Heroes Gala,
Gala.
HH Gala
22.
2022,
But the hashtag comes in the first half.
and the hashtag. Oh,
right.
And that's all one word.
That's all one word.
All right.
I think it's up there somewhere.
You know, I'm just hoping there's enough young people out there that can help us all get through that.
That's
I
right.
understand.
Thank
It's
you,
all
Tom.
yours, Steve.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you. Was I dynamic
Well,
enough?
it's a privilege to be with you all. Let's hear it for our chairman, the unbelievable Tom Hanks. He's amazing. Well, I want to start by talking about how I've been following someone's example for the last 10 years. And you can never fail when you follow the example of Elizabeth Dole, who I have had the incredible privilege and honor of working with since 2013. And not only is she a model of how to win over an audience, you saw that just a minute ago, Senator Dole is one of our nation's greatest examples of compassion, determination, and servant leadership. Senator, you have shaped me profoundly as a leader and as a person. And I know that I'm saying that on behalf of a lot of people in this room tonight. In fact, if you've been shaped by Senator Tu, let's give her a round of applause. Each of us, Senator, love you and we thank you. We've just gotten started on this mission. We're 10 years in and we've got a long way to go. But when Senator first sparked this military caregiver movement, our immediate goal was to directly respond to the most urgent challenges facing our hidden heroes. Our nation had overlooked their sacrifices for generations. And I know there are a lot of pre-9/11 caregivers in the room tonight, and we did overlook your need for generations. And we're making up for that now. In nearly every facet of their lives, emotionally, physically, socially, financially, many of America's 5.5 million caregivers had reached a breaking point. But over the last decade, this foundation has transformed the outlook for military caregivers all across America. We've created reliable systems of support. We've created emergency respite and financial programs. We've created a culture of inclusion in healthcare settings, vast expansions in caregiver benefits, active online and grassroots networks, and scores of new programs, all where none had existed before. As the only national nonprofit completely dedicated to military and veteran caregivers, growing and sustaining this support will remain our top priority. At the same time, we have to recognize that we are at a watershed moment in this country. We are tracking right now a confluence of trends that will recast the landscape of veterans care in America for the coming generation. The most consequential of these trends is time. Veterans living with independence today will increasingly rely on their loved ones as their injuries and their health grow more fragile with age. And in the coming years, we anticipate a new surge of caregivers all across America. And like today's caregivers, they will largely be unprepared and untrained for these roles. And unfortunately, we do not expect that government programs and institutional care will be able to absorb the wave of caregivers and these vast needs for support. Despite best efforts, these programs continue to be overwhelmed and underutilized. Additionally, patients are increasingly choosing to age in place, age in their homes. That's what we do. Home-based care options can come with extraordinary benefits, including lower costs and improved health outcomes. However, all of those pluses dramatically increase the responsibility and stress on our caregivers. We cannot and will not wait to prepare our nation for these challenges. This foundation is ready to take the lead in strengthening and expanding America's infrastructure for managing the future of military and veteran caregiving. We are using, yes, that's right. Thank you. We are using this 10th anniversary not just as a moment of reflection, but as a launching pad to bring this nation where it needs to be in order to give the caregivers of today, tomorrow, and the next generation the support they need and deserve. That's what tonight is all about, but we'll only succeed with your continued help. So thank you for being part of this movement. Together, we will continue to transform the lives of America's hidden heroes. I now have the privilege and the honor to introduce our presenting sponsor for this evening, USAA. One of America's leading financial services company and corporate citizens, USAA has been our bedrock supporter from the very beginning. They've invested in programs designed to create transformative change every step of the way, including our campaign for inclusive care. Everyone, please welcome a 30-year employee of USAA, a leader who believes it is vital for his company and his colleagues to support those who serve and their families, the President and CEO, Wayne Peacock.
Well, thank you, Steve, and thanks, Senator Dole. On behalf of our 38,000 USA teammates, we are grateful for the opportunity to be with you here tonight. You know, as Steve said, USA has been a supporter of the Elizabeth Dole Foundation from its very beginning because the work they do in support of caregivers is just so important. You know, caregivers are a lifeline for so many. They're the silent supporters working behind the scenes to care for a loved one or sometimes a friend or even a neighbor. Many of these hidden heroes are here with us tonight, and many more are streaming out and watching us here through virtual. Many of our colleagues at USAA are also these hidden heroes, and tonight I want to tell you about one of them. Jennifer Sharp is one of our regulatory and compliance attorneys at USAA. A few years ago, she met the man of her dreams, Jonathan. Jonathan was a former Navy recruiter who'd retired but was still active in the reserves and who had settled into his new role as a junior high science teacher. But I'll tell you, he was such a great Navy recruiter that after one of their first dates, Jennifer wondered why she had not joined the Navy that night. They got engaged and they were planning a wedding back in 2015, but not before one more deployment. That deployment would end up being Jonathan's last. A spinal cord injury and failed spinal fusion left him with limited mobility, in excruciating pain, and for a time, unable to even communicate. Jennifer stepped in, as so many caregivers do, to be Jonathan's voice, getting him to his medical appointments, keeping track of medications, and so much more. But what became clear was that for Jennifer to be an effective caregiver for Jonathan, they need to be married. And so they were. But it wasn't the fancy wedding that they'd been planning. It was a simple, short ceremony at a VA hospital. It also wasn't out of a sense of obligation for Jennifer. It was much deeper. That last deployment changed a lot, but not the important things. It didn't change Jennifer's love or commitment for Jonathan. It only strengthened them. The way Jennifer describes it, she didn't fall in love with what Jonathan could do or what he could provide the family. She fell in love with who he is, his character, and his allegiance to the Navy's core values of honor, courage, and commitment. Jonathan is, after all, a hero. Recovery and rehabilitation is a journey that they're on together. Some days it's hard to see the end, but they're both confident that they will arrive. And when they do, they'll be together. Jennifer and Jonathan are here with us tonight, so join me in giving them a big round of applause. You know, our sponsorship of Hidden Heroes every year helps create this special night of honor and recognition that so many of our caregivers deserve. And tonight, we all get the opportunity to shine the light on each of you for your care and your compassion. Thank you very much.
Should I
Get it. So,
sit
yeah, do
and then
that.
I'll be like, sit. I'll sit when you come back.
We're on? Hey, you know, for our 10th anniversary, we're giving you a look backstage. There's a lot of hardworking people working back here, but some of them are very relaxed. And I have to say, here's one particularly relaxed-looking, hardworking staffer. It's Savannah Guthrie, everybody. Hi, Savannah.
Hi.
Hey,
Good to see you.
hey. You know, I got to tell you, you certainly make this hosting thing look easy. I'm subbing for you, and I'm having a heck of a time.
No, you're crushing it. Do you want to borrow my heels?
Oh, shut up with the heels, for crying out loud. I work hard.
You work very hard. You are doing so well. It means so much to everyone that you are here.
Well, you know, somebody else is doing going to be on later on, and I must say, looking very, very relaxed as well, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Young back here. Give us a chord, Chris. Ooh. And what was that? What is it? What is that again?
It's just an E.
An E? Just
Yeah,
an E?
that's
Just an E.
Just an E.
Well, we know G, C, and D.
Yeah.
He's going to sing us some beautiful songs coming up.
Yeah. Well, let's keep moving then. Everyone, please welcome the star of NBC's
New Amsterdam.
That's right, her network, among many other hits. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Jocko Sims.
Thank you, Tom. Good evening, everyone. Now, you might be mistaking this strapping gentleman next to me for a Secret Service agent or one of the Washington commanders. But it turns out he has actually a very different role. This is Robert Greer Jr. Right? So tell him why you're here tonight, Rob.
I'm a caregiver for my father, Robert Greer Sr.
That's right. Sometimes we forget that men are caregivers too. Yeah. When in fact, caregivers represent a cross-section of America, every gender, race, religion, and sexual identity. But they all have something in common. They all pour every drop of energy they have into caring for someone they love dearly. And for Rob, it's his dad. Let's take a look at their story.
Hey, can you feel the fireplace?
Yeah.
All right, good. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm okay.
All right, good. My name is Robert Warren Greer Jr., and I'm from Wexford, Pennsylvania. My dad is just a great father. I was always here for my parents. Doing the chores was no big thing for me, but I could tell that their care and their needs started to change. I understood that. I'm his son, I'm a military kid, no problem. But after Mom passed in 2016, then that was the real eye-opening experience that, you know what, now it's Dad's turn. My father grew up poor. It's from a small town called Massillon, Ohio. Being born in the 1930s, it was very much a segregated world in America. Dad was one of the first to go down into the South, into New Orleans, and play in the Sugar Bowl with the Pitt Panthers against Georgia Tech. It says Greer took on the law and won. Dad joined the Air Force right after college. The pro league wasn't as big as it is now, so the better option was to go into the military. Dad is a 100% service-disabled veteran. The injection seat put a lot of pressure on Dad's back, and then also the landing. He's had like 5 different back surgeries. He's had a disc removed. He started smoking in the military and continued to smoke until the day he got the phone call that he had cancer. I make sure that his needs are met. So he's got a CPAP machine that he wears. He also wears some tape at night because he also has sleep apnea. I make sure that he gets his pills in the morning, keeping him active and keeping him moving, making sure he's getting enough water, making sure that we're on top of his incontinence to make sure that he's all clean. At first I would introduce myself as his son. Oh, I'm Mr. Greer's son, I'm Junior. But then I started to realize, I would see a few flyers that were in the VA waiting room talking about caregivers, and I'm like, wow, that kind of sounds like exactly what I'm doing. I'm constantly thinking of Dad and his well-being. This calendar basically runs the house. Okay, so next week, shower, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Caregiving is no joke hard. It is seriously hard. For me, it was definitely something that I didn't talk about with people. The Dole Foundation has been just an amazing resource for me and for my dad, and just getting the word out about the issues that over 5.5 million caregivers of military veterans are dealing with. And I was able to find a whole nother group of people and felt a belonging, talking to other caregivers going through similar issues. I'm very fortunate to be able to put myself around some really good people and really good mentors as well. This is why the Dole Foundation is such an important resource, because it is like a team. It's very interesting in dealing with the wood, because sometimes you never know what you're going to get. It's almost like caregiving. You never know what's going to happen from day to day. I want to do the best I can to keep him active and mobile so he can stay in the home as long as possible. I really want him to enjoy these golden years that he has.
The Pritzker Military Museum and Library is one of the nation's most important leaders for generating greater understanding of our military community and its history. I am so grateful and so proud to count the Pritzker Military Museum as one of our closest partners. Please welcome their president, Dr. Kowalski-Salter.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Pritzker Military Museum and Library, the Board of Directors, and my colleagues, and one of who is here with me tonight, our COO, Susan Rifkin, of Philanthropic Activities, I would like to impress upon all of you that our focus and commitment to citizens and soldiers at the Pritzker Military Museum and Library also includes many who have perhaps never worn a uniform. And I am, of course, talking about those caregivers who often give much more than 150% of their time to those of us who are in need. So I think it is fair to say that few do it better than caregivers, those silent heroes who are always there for our comrades in need. To Senator Dole and the Elizabeth Dole Foundation, thank you for your commitment and partnership in supporting these exceptional Americans. We are honored at the Pritzker Military Museum and Library to be a part of this most spectacular evening and those spectacular Americans because of what they bring us all, a life of promise. Thank you.
Well, we cannot care for our caregivers without also supporting their children. They are the hidden helpers, and they serve too. To share his caregiving story, please welcome Chris Rotenberry.
Good evening, everybody. I'm very excited to be here tonight and share my story with you. My name is Chris Rotenberry. When I was a young kid, my dad was fun and energetic, and he still is, but, when he was deployed in Afghanistan, the explosion went off and it changed him. My mom stepped up as his caregiver, and as their oldest, I was the assistant. Every day was tense. We kind of didn't know what it was going to be like for that day. If he seemed on edge, I would stick by his side, try and be there for him. If he seemed like he was quiet, I would try and keep the house quiet so he could sleep or do whatever he needed to do to get better. As I understood more about his injuries, it was hard on me, and it felt like he didn't want to be around me. And in 7th grade, it became so overwhelming, I made multiple attempts to take my life. And that was the lowest of the low. And my mom discovered it. She consulted my counselor that I'd been seeing for a while, and I found help at Kennedy Krieger, and then eventually Shepherd Pratt. It was a psychiatric hospital, and being a caregiver kid is just really lonely. I mean, no one was asking what I was doing after school or how what my home life was like, and it was hard. And when I tried to tell my friends about it, they simply didn't believe me. I didn't even try to convince them. So, thanks to the help I received and, all the people I've gotten to meet and to talk to, my perspective on life's changed. And I'm in a much better place now. And, thank you. Thank you all. Thank you. And, I'm in such a great place right now, and I just know that there's millions of kids and teens just like me who don't have that help and don't have the support that I got. And I just want to thank all of you for being here tonight to support this cause that I'm working for and that we're all working for. And, I'm just glad you guys are here to listen, because that's all it takes, just an ask or just something as small as that. For me, it was just one person to talk to, and that was just my one counselor. But thank you all for coming out tonight and helping ensure all caregiver kids have the help they need. And it was a pleasure sharing my story. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Rashi Romanoff, Executive Vice President of the Elizabeth Dole Foundation. Chris's story is so powerful, and I want to thank Chris on behalf of everyone at the Anthem and Chris's family for trusting us with that story. We know that Chris's story isn't the only hidden helper story that's out there. Stories like his are what drives our team at the Elizabeth Dole Foundation each and every day to find more ways to support this community. And we're so excited to be doing more to help kids just like Chris through our new Hidden Helpers initiative. To learn more about military kids or to support the foundation's work, please visit www.hiddenheroes.org/hiddenhelpers. And now, for some more amazing music, please help me welcome back to the stage the 82nd Airborne Division All-American Chorus.
Chorus, attention! Forward, march, left, right, left, left, right, left, step, left, 1, 2, 3, 4, left, right on left, right. Mark time, march. Chorus, halt. Hook braid, rest. 10 minutes. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What you now all are about to witness are some of the live actions and commands given inside of a C-17 or C-130 high-performance aircraft just moments before your 82nd Airborne Division jumps into the darkness of the night. Check! Equipment! Sound off! We're coming check!
Okay!
Okay, jump master.
1 minute. Get ready. Go. Here we go.
Here we go.
All the way.
All the way.
Gotta be.
Gotta be.
Rough and tough.
Rough and tough.
Airborne.
Airborne.
Every day.
Every day.
We run.
We run.
To the sun.
To the sun.
No sweat.
No sweat.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Down in the mess hall on my knees.
Down in the mess hall on my knees.
We got nothing to eat but a can of beans.
Nothing to eat but a can of beans.
Bread was molded and the meat was bad.
The bread was molded and the meat was bad.
And you know darn well that you can't eat that.
Hey! You know darn well that you can't eat that.
Here we go.
Here we go.
All the way.
All the way.
Gotta be.
Gotta be.
Rough and tough.
Rough and tough.
Born.
Born.
All the way.
All the way.
When I was young, I always wanted to be in the 82nd Airborne, my knees in the breeze. Now that I'm here, I'm gonna do it right. I'm gonna jump from an aircraft while in flight.
All the way airborne, airborne, all the way driving on, driving on. All the way airborne, airborne, all the way driving on, driving on.
Early one morning in the drizzling rain, when I picked up my parachute and boarded the plane, Jump Master said 1 minute to go, and the green light lit with the chilling glow.
All the way airborne, airborne, all the way driving on, driving on. All the way airborne, airborne, all the way driving on, driving on.
Here we go, all the way, gotta be, rough and tough, airborne,
airborne, airborne.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are your 82nd Airborne Division's All-American Chorus. We hail from the great Fort Bragg of North Carolina, which is home of the Airborne. Thank you. The 82nd Airborne Division is America's Guard of Honor. On behalf of our Commanding General, Major General Christopher Leneve, and our Command Sergeant Major, Command Sergeant Major David Pitt, we would like to let you know what an honor and a privilege it is to be singing for you here this evening. But I must remind you that these individuals standing behind me are not just talented singers. They are first and foremost paratroopers for life. We have soldiers from the infantry,
Follow me.
Service and support, aviation,
Above the best.
artillery,
Boom.
and my personal favorite, the Corps of Engineers.
Can you dig it?
Please enjoy our Temptations medley. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum,
Each day through the window, I watch her as she passes by. I say to myself, you're such a lucky guy to have a girl like her. It's truly a dream come true. All the fellas in the world, she belongs to you.
But it was just my imagination once again running away with me. I tell you what, it's just my imagination running away with me. I got sunshine on a cloudy day. When it's cold outside, yeah, I got the month of May.
I can visualize it all. This couldn't be a dream, it's real it all seems. And now
Sugar pie, honey bun, you know that I love you.
way too proud to beg.
I know you wanna leave me, but I refuse to let you go.
That's why you are
my girl.
I'm talking about my girl.
Just my imagination going through.
I got sunshine on a cloudy day with my girl.
Oh, my girl.
Even got the month of May with my girl.
My girl. Running away with me.
Please welcome the chair of tonight's host committee, Michael Steele.
Last before dinner. Before we proceed, though, I'd like to thank two groups of people: our host committee for tonight's event, for their dedication to this cause and for making this possible, and our board of directors, whose continuing unwavering commitment to America's military caregivers is an inspiration. So if you have been moved by what you've seen here tonight, and I hope we all have, we will very shortly get into more detail of how you can help join our mission and serve this great cause. Until then, enjoy your meal.
The story of every military family begins with a hero, an ordinary American willing to answer the nation's call and join others to accomplish the extraordinary. The missions they undertake are dangerous, the risks exceedingly high. As a result, millions return home forever changed with the types of physical and emotional wounds that can only come from war. Wounds that last a lifetime. That's when a new hero emerges, a parent, a child, a sibling, a good friend, who immediately drops everything, puts their own life on hold, and pours every ounce of energy they have into their loved one's care. Without training, without any guide or manual, they become around-the-clock nurses, counselors, case managers, and physical therapists, and they do it all while keeping up the house, raising the kids, and finding a way to pay the bills. America could not live up to its promise to our veterans without these military caregivers. Yet we have left these hidden heroes to struggle with a staggering responsibility, a responsibility that pushes many of them to their physical, financial, and emotional breaking points. Senator Elizabeth Dole was the first to sound the alarm on this nationwide crisis. She set out to transform America into a country that not only supports those we send to war, but those who forever care for them upon their return. The Elizabeth Dole Foundation awakened the nation to the extraordinary sacrifices of millions of military caregivers in every corner of the country and provided real, life-changing support. We've rallied our national leaders, cultural icons, diverse organizations, and Americans of all walks of life. We've mobilized communities, hundreds of them and counting, to provide resources to caregivers right in their hometowns. And we built a vibrant community of our own, the most active virtual gathering place exclusively for military caregivers, where they can find advice, support, and comfort. In carrying out our mission, the Foundation has challenged the way things have always been done. We championed the biggest expansion of military caregiver benefits in history. Caregivers now have access to the same level of support regardless of when their veterans served. And we are ensuring caregivers are part of their veterans' VA medical team by training over 10,000 providers on how to practice inclusive care, a new standard we are setting across the nation's healthcare systems. The Foundation is delivering more direct relief than ever before, providing financial assistance to our nation's most vulnerable caregivers. And we're sending professional care providers into the homes of hidden heroes desperate for a break or an extra helping hand. We're also dramatically expanding our programs centered on mental and emotional health. Caregiving can feel impossible, even on the best days. So we're making sure caregivers have the ability to renew their resiliency, determination, joy, and hope. As we look to the future, the Foundation is expanding our mission to help the next generation of caregivers. The children helping a parent or guardian care for a wounded loved one at home. These incredible kids have felt more heartache in their young lives than most of us will see in our lifetimes. The Foundation envisions a nation that honors the service of military caregivers and their families by recognizing, supporting, and investing in them. Together, we will get there. Until then, our work continues. To every brave wife, husband, brother, sister, friend, child, parent, to our nation's millions of hidden heroes and hidden helpers, we're here for you. Today, tomorrow, and always.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Senator Elizabeth Dole.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, no, please. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. My goodness, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us. You know, earlier this evening, I had the chance to reunite with some of the caregivers who first inspired me to start this journey. We were reminiscing about how those quiet bedside conversations at Walter Reed 12 years ago have blossomed into this incredible movement. I stand before you tonight just filled with gratitude for the hundreds of caregivers who've shared their precious time as Dole Caregiver Fellows, and the countless caregivers across the nation who have found a home in our community, for the collective contributions of our foundation's vast 400-member coalition, which have given this movement such momentum, and for the progress of our foundation, which is a credit to the leadership of our CEO, Steve Schwab, and the amazing team, yes, the amazing team that we are blessed to have carrying out our work. And of course, I'm so very grateful to Savannah, our voice and ambassador, and Tom, our cheerleader and champion, who are listening in just off stage. Tom, I'd also like to thank you for that wonderful moment you led in memory of Bob earlier tonight. It was deeply touching to me. It's been 10 months now since I lost my precious husband of 46 years. I always marveled at Bob's leadership skills. He worked across the aisle, joining with Democrats to achieve truly historic legislation, which he accomplished. Yes, thank you. And he accomplished that historic legislation not as a loyal member of his party, but as a loyal American. Right. Tonight, we come together in that same bipartisan spirit. Since the very beginning, our foundation has firmly believed that caring for our hidden heroes is not a Republican cause or a Democratic cause. It's not something only for folks in Middle America to care about, or our friends along the coast, or all of us here in the Beltway. Our foundation intentionally chose to awaken the entire nation to the crisis facing caregivers. Yes. And I'm proud to say that the entire nation is responding. This type of unity seems hard to come by these days, doesn't it? The voices of divisiveness seem to be drowning out the voices of compassion and unity. Our nation has become too focused on artificial labels and differences. We must reverse this troubling tide. Yes, please. In one of his final messages to the nation, Bob wrote, "When we prioritize principles over party and humanity over personal legacy, we accomplish much more as a nation." By leading with a shared faith in each other, in unity, we become an America at its best, he said. Ladies and gentlemen, with every young American who pledges an oath to our nation, with every military family who provides unending support to their service member and serves as their caregiver, with every moment like tonight, when Americans come together, bound above all else by a common cause, I see the greatness of our nation. Yes. And with enormous pride and hope, I see, as Bob Dole said, an America at its best. May God bless each and every one of you, and may He continue to bless the United States of America. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my goodness, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Cobble.
Right here for you.
Hello again, everyone. I hope dinner was good. I just came back. I kind of just wanted to emphasize that I really appreciate everybody being here. I'm really lucky that I get to share my story because, I'm only one speaking for millions, and it means so much to have everybody here and listen. And in fact, most caregivers, they don't even get the basic treatment that I got. I had a counselor that I was seeing, once a week, but that alone helped me out more than anything. And I know a lot of kids like me don't have that. And it was really hard to find that counselor. And, if we can just get more kids that the basic resources they need. And, I've seen the difference Elizabeth Dole Foundation has made in my mom's life and my life. My mom has people to talk to now, people that she can relate to. Growing up, I never had any of that. It was just kind of me and my own. And I didn't find my therapist until I was in about 6th grade, which is a long time. And I just hope you know that when you support the Elizabeth Dole Foundation, you help caregivers and kids. And just the small stuff helps the most. And if you can just assure people that, thank you. It just assures them that people care and people know that they're out there. And Steve is going to tell you how you can support their work. I hope you will, and thank you very much for having me.
Isn't Chris an inspiration? Let's hear it again for Chris. You are an inspiration. Someone just texted me, by the way, if you're texting me during this, I'm really not looking at it. But someone just texted me and said, hey, you better watch out. Chris might take over your job. I'm not worried about that. And Chris's family is right here. Chris's family, I want you to wave. Liz and Chuck. He's unbelievable. And we're all here tonight to say that Chris is not alone. In fact, can I ask all the caregivers and all the caregiver kids in the audience to proudly stand so that we can recognize you and your incredible service. None of you are alone. I want to pause. We are here because of every single one of you. That's what this night is all about. And we know that our nation has to do more to help families like yours. That's why we need the help of every single person in this room tonight. Please answer Chris's call and give a gift to support military families. We have a text to give number on the screen and pledge cards on your table for you to take action right this minute. Fill out a card, hold it in the air. We're gonna do this old-fashioned, and our staff will come around to collect them if you're brave enough to flash that card in the air. And if you text a donation, hold up your phone so that we can see and so that the caregivers here can see that we're all doing our part to support them. I also have a very special announcement to share. Tonight, we will be launching a brand new way to get involved and make a difference, our National Cabinet. With a gift of $1,200 or more, or a pledge to sign up with a 100+ monthly gift, you will become a founding member in that new National Cabinet. This cabinet of our most committed supporters will be invited to join us for exclusive events with influencers and newsmakers that will strengthen our military and veteran families. And the caregivers are going to be front and center. I'm so proud to share that Amna Nawaz and Paul Wardell and Anna Palmer and Patrick Melody, amazing Americans and passionate supporters of our mission, have agreed to serve as co-chairs of this new cabinet. Hold on, I want to focus where we've got Amna and Paul, Anna and Patrick. I mean, if you know DC media, you know this group of people. And they've raised their hands because they want to help us get everybody in this room and everybody across the country involved. And we can't thank the four of you enough. We're going to take this on the road. We're going to continue to awaken America and get more folks involved. So thank you all so, so much. And you're going to hear a lot about our national cabinet as we move forward. So please take out those phones, grab those pledge cards, and hold them up high. Let's follow Chris's lead, and let's support families like his. Every gift counts, no matter what the amount. So thank you all so very, very much. I hope to see all of you at our inaugural National Council or National Cabinet event in a neighborhood near yours soon. Now, as we keep the show going, I'm also excited to announce some huge news from one of our closest partners, the Bob and Dolores Hope Foundation. Tonight, in honor of our penultimate caregiver champion, Savannah, they are donating $100,000 to the cause. And our good friends Tony and Candy are right here in the front. If you guys can wave, we really appreciate. Stand up, guys, stand up. Thank you so much. Earlier this year, and this isn't the first time they've stood up. You may remember they were on this stage and they surprised even me with a $1 million donation a couple years ago. It takes a lot to surprise me. But earlier this year, the Hope Foundation helped us create the Hope Fund for Critical Financial Assistance, inspired by Dolores Hope's legacy of helping those who are struggling and Bob Hope's unbelievable and legendary commitment to those who serve. This fund is literally rescuing caregivers from uncovered costs for healthcare bills, home repairs, and other threats to their financial security. And tonight, they're committing to fund this program for 2 more years by donating another $1 million to keep that fund going. Thank you so much to the Bob and Dolores Hope Foundation. And now, to introduce our next Caregiver Spotlight, please welcome back the incredible Jocko Sims.
All right. Here with me is now another amazing hidden hero, Candice Laguna. Now, Candice, we have caregivers all over the country who are watching tonight. Do you have a favorite piece of advice you give fellow caregivers?
Fellow caregivers, I want to encourage you to create a unique and personal identity outside of your caregiving roles. Along this journey, please remember that you are still worthy of your own story and your own successes.
That's great. That's a wonderful reminder. And I know it comes from a very personal place. Let's take a closer look at Candice's life as a hidden hero and more.
Finding my voice means I have a little bit of myself back. It allows me to feel good and remember who I am inside. And that little portion of me is very special. I had lost it for a long time. In 2010, I became a full-time caregiver. Raising 4 kids and taking care of pranks, injuries, it was numbing. You think nobody can understand you. You think you're the only one. Without a voice, you're very hidden. My name is Candice Laguna. I have my 4 kiddos and my husband here, and we live in Mount Airy, Maryland. Our oldest daughter is Allie. She is a United States Navy CB. Antonio's our second oldest. He loves growing cacti and succulents. We have a 12-year-old Alejandro, and he's our mountain biker, and we have a 10-year-old Annabella, and she is our butterfly. When I picture Frank, he's a United States Marine, he's a great dad, and one of the hardest workers I've ever met. Everyone calls him Frank the Tank because nothing slows him down, but he hurts all the time physically. 2004, Frank came back from Iraq, and his mood would shift rapidly. His injuries, you could see him like rubbing his shoulder, rubbing his spine. In 2010, the injuries had kind of snowballed, and he ended up injuring his spine severely. And then in 2013, Antonio became very sick. He was diagnosed with Rohat syndrome, 1 of 100 children diagnosed since 1968. At first, I didn't even know I was a caregiver. I just thought, this is what moms do, this is what wives do. You love, and you love through the injuries, and you love through the medical conditions, and the diagnosis, and the treatment, and you just love. But the fatigue started in, and I realized this is a little more than just being mom and wife. I'm tuckered out. Becoming an Elizabeth Dole Foundation Fellow gave me a voice. It allowed me to remember me. There's a lot of times where healing focuses only on the veteran. It's easy for us to tell our kids and our spouses or our veterans, hey, let me help you. But when somebody turns around and says, hey, let me help you, we're like, no, I'm good. I got this. And the Elizabeth Dole Foundation says, hey, everybody needs a little help every once in a while. My kids are incredible caregivers. It's all they've ever known. And the Elizabeth Dole Foundation recognizes that kids are just as much in it as adults are. Their daily life revolves around the veteran. My kiddos, the Elizabeth Dole Foundation gave them one of the biggest opportunities of their life. They were right alongside Frank and right alongside me when we got to meet the President of the United States.
Let's do this.
All right,
Get on in.
we ready? Everybody here first?
Take care of each other. To be seen to that level, it is empowering. Our nation needs to remember that the sacrifice doesn't just happen on the battlefield. My life's goal was always to become a physician, and before becoming a caregiver, I was well on my way to it. I'd taken all my prerequisites, and I had a 4.0 GPA, and even with small kiddos, I was headed in that direction. Outside of caregiving, outside of mom, outside of wife, outside of all the titles that I was wearing, doctor wasn't one of them. I had to lose my professional identity. It was devastating. But being an Elizabeth Dole Foundation Fellow and Caregiver means that I have more to offer than just what I do at home. Now I'm a solution-focused advocate. There's things we can do. We do not have to sit back and just say, this is my life. I get to say, hey, maybe we can help student caregivers, and I work with legislation on that. Research on how to better help veterans and veteran caregivers, or I can work with communities. It's wonderful. It allowed me a professional world that I had forgotten. And with a voice, you're visible, you're seen. There's life again. For Frank, for the kids, for the community, for me, there's nothing but possibilities there.
Earlier tonight, I spoke about the growing urgency around the future of caregiving. For the last year, we have been sharing the same message all across the nation. I'm proud to say that we have received extraordinary responses and commitments of support from every corner of the country. And I'm thrilled to share one of those with you this evening. Please welcome the president of the Diana Davis Spencer Foundation, my good friend, Abby Spencer Moffitt.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and thank you all for support this incredible event. A very special thank you to Elizabeth Dole, a dear friend of my mother's, Diana, and mine. We thank you for your leadership, for the vision that made this evening possible. We also want to thank Bob, her dear husband, her late husband. Yeah. As Edward Albert would say, courage is the simple act of caring. It's heroic. And that is the spirit of this event, the Elizabeth Dole Foundation, and the example by each and every one of the caregivers in this audience. This is an act of love of one another, love of family, love of country. It is those acts of love that got us at the Diana Davis Spencer Foundation to support the military caregivers who have represented the very best of America with character, strength, and duty. Their devotion to their families and to communities and to saving others who have taken the highest act of service and showing their love. Together, they uphold America's promise to care for those who have served in uniform, a sacred oath. And a message to symbol to the, sorry, I'm just gonna switch, hold on. Okay. But there's so much more that we can do tonight with the Diana Davis Spencer Foundation. Is proud to announce that we are committed to supporting the caregivers with a $5 million gift. We want to thank every single caregiver in this room and all those that are watching. God bless you all, and God bless America.
You're amazing. Love you. Wow, this is amazing. Abby, Diana, the whole Diana Davis Spencer Foundation, we are so incredibly thankful. On behalf of Senator Dole and this entire community and all the caregivers in this room, we're going to get a lot of work done. This gift will be dedicated to building an even stronger network of support for all of our hidden heroes in every corner of the country. We're going to stitch a network together like you've never seen. Abby and Diana, your generosity will be life-changing, and you're going to help all of the folks that you saw stand up in this room and so many more. Let's hear it again for the folks at the Diana Davis Spencer Foundation. Thank you.
Man, I wish there was a band. That way I could have a musical cue. I'm over here, everybody. Follow the lights. Well, we're rounding third and we're headed for home, folks. And I got, oh, hey, Chris, man, how are you? Good to see you again. I saw you backstage and here are we. Everybody remember Chris, right? Now, Chris, you holding up all right?
I'm doing great.
Is your dad here at the table? Ah, there you go. What a pleasure. What a pleasure. Nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you as well.
Pleasure to meet you. Now, this young man of yours is going to be joining the Marine Corps in February, correct? Sorry. All right. And you've been training a little bit. Little bit. Then, Chris, give me 10. Give me 10. No, you can't. Give me 3. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're good. You're good. What I want you to do sometime down at Paris Island is try that in heels. Sit down. Thanks, Chris. Thanks for being a good sport. I want to come over here to table 10. Did you get your pizza yet? Table 10, your pizza's ready. Georgette Winton, I have a question for you. Ladies and gentlemen, Georgette Winton is one of our caregivers, and her story is so cuckoo because it turns out you're here because of something you saw on TV. Would you tell us about this? You can hold the microphone. It's very exciting.
Thank you.
There you go. Turn around, and well, you got people there. Georgia, ladies and gentlemen.
It was 2017, 2018, and it was an unusual morning in my house. We normally don't watch television, and that morning we had the Today Show on. And I heard a teaser for a segment that said join Tom Hanks and learn about the Elizabeth Dole Foundation and hear military caregiver stories. And I thought to myself, I'm interested in hearing those stories, and I like Tom Hanks. I want to watch this. Honest to goodness, that was my thought. So I listened to those caregiver stories and I connected. And I hadn't identified as a caregiver yet, and I still didn't feel that call to identify. But looking back on that morning, I realized how instrumental watching that segment was. It forged my path. It forged our path to get Jason and I to where we are today.
Georgette, thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
You are the emblematic example of this is all about community. This is somebody seeing a need, looking around for it, listening to what's going on and saying, oh, there's something I could do in order to help that. So thank you for your example. Georgette Winton, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I'm going to make the transition from the microphone to the lavalier. Is that all right? I am now speaking on the lavalier. Thank you. Those are the cues you have to give to somebody in an organization like this. Otherwise, chaos ensues. Now, I think this is an amazing event for 10 years, but I'm going to tell you something right now. You know what we need here? We need a band. We need musical interludes for people like me. Because just to come stumbling in, waving your hand under the light so you can get attention would really be 1,000 times better with a little music, don't you think? So I'm going to ask you all to essentially be the band. We are all going to join in a song that is going to get me from the floor of the arena up onto the stage by way of a musical interlude. So everybody knows the words to the Elvis Presley song, Wise Men Say Only Fools Rush In. You are going to get me up on the stage by singing this Elvis Presley song. And this is by no way a plug for the motion picture Elvis, in which I play Colonel Tom Parker. This is I just came up with this on the top of my head. I'm not trying to sell tickets or try to make sure that you all see it on HBO Max, because it is available on HBO Max. I just wanted to have a little music to get me from table 7 back up to center stage. So will you join me in singing that Elvis song? Ready, everybody. 1, 2, 3. Wise men say but I can't help falling in love with you. Thank you for that musical interlude. Give yourself a hand. And this I vow, Senator, next year there will be a combo underwritten by myself, just so that we never have to have silentless, musicless segues again in our next Hidden Heroes Gala. Just a little combo. Playing nothing but songs from, I don't know, movies like That Thing You Do and Elvis and a few other things. The theme to Bosom Buddies, that will all work out. All right, ladies, folks, 4 years ago, the Elizabeth Dole Foundation gave me the great honor of receiving the inaugural Caregiver Champion Award. That recognition has only grown more humbling as we have presented this award to extraordinary advocates like Gary Sinise, my good friend, Tim McGraw, who is a pal, former First Lady Michelle Obama, who is an inspiration all unto herself. So to mark their award's 5th anniversary, we wanted to present it to an advocate who has truly gone above and beyond in their support, someone who has really earned the title of Caregiver Champion, and the choice is obvious: Savannah Guthrie. Savannah Guthrie, who is named after a great city as well as a theater in Minneapolis. Savannah Guthrie first joined the Elizabeth Dole Foundation as MC of the 2018 Heroes and History Makers events. Now, hooked on the magic of that mission, she immediately joined us for the long haul as an ambassador for Hidden Heroes. She said there, "I'll be there for you." And ever since, Savannah has used her tremendous platform to introduce military caregivers to the nation. In 2019, Savannah and The Today Show joined the foundation on the road in Indianapolis. Remember that day? There was a vicious thunderstorm the night before. And we were both wondering, is this going to happen or not? I mean, is this going to be washed away? But we met there at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, where The Today Show dedicated the entire morning to military caregivers, live right there from that famous brickyard. When COVID-19 began spreading across our country in 2020, you're welcome, thank you. Happy to do it. You all remember where you were, what you were doing when our names went across the bottom of the Today Show. Happy to. See, we got you through. In 2020, Savannah used her voice to let the struggling caregivers know about the resources that were available to them. And as our troops began to withdraw from Afghanistan just last year, she invited military caregivers on Today to explain what that moment was like for him. Now, perhaps where her commitment shines the most is during the many personal conversations she shares with caregivers out of view of the cameras. And I've seen it happen dozens of times. With incredible grace and earnest spirit, she assures them that they will not endure their journey alone. Savannah, sweetie, America's sweetheart, Lady Gorgeous Stack o' Pancakes, it means a great deal to me and to every single one of us in this room and those who are watching at home streaming live that you really have dedicated yourself to this mission, and you didn't have to, but you did. So my friends, my fellow caregivers, I'm not a caregiver, I'm not a hero, but to all of you out there, let's please welcome the 2022 Caregiver Champion, there's not a better word to describe her, Savannah Guthrie. Hey, darling. Oh, come on. I'm sorry.
You're the cutest. You're the cutest. Why are you
Not
so
too
cute?
flip.
Yeah.
I don't want to be too flip. I don't want to be flip. Now, there's music. Wow.
Like club music.
It is. It's kind of EDM. I like that. Savannah, before you make your witty remarks, we have a few more friends who wanted to share a message with you and with all of us. So let's take a look.
Hey, Savannah, little big town here. We love you so much, and we wanted to say congrats.
Big fans.
On receiving the Elizabeth Dole Foundation's Tom Hanks Caregiver Champion Award.
You deserve every award, but particularly this one.
We all know how big your heart is and how you love telling stories.
She's perceptive in a way that allows her to share goodness and kindness with those who need it most.
Thank you so much for everything you do for all the military and the families particularly.
It is only fitting that you have lent your voice, your spirit, and your platform to shine a light on such an amazing group of people, not just the military families, but the caregivers as well.
I'm a part of a military family, so thank you for all the work that you're doing. You deserve this.
Hi, Savannah. It's Lynn. Congratulations on this prestigious award. I can think of no one more deserving than you.
So thankful for how you take care of the men and women that take care of us.
You gave caregivers a voice, and you've shown that we can all work together to help those who need it most.
And shows them that they are not alone.
Savannah, we are very proud of you for all of the work that you do for the Hidden Heroes. And in your honor tonight, we're going to celebrate with
Pizza? Ice cream. Ice cream? Pizza. Ice cream.
We'll figure it out. We love you.
I'm here to congratulate Savannah.
Congrats, Savannah.
I love you so much.
Love you.
Mwah.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Savannah Guthrie! Bye, sweetie. Love you.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Senator Elizabeth. Thank you, Hidden Heroes, for this beautiful honor. And thank you most of all to caregivers for the privilege of knowing you and getting to tell some of your stories. Over these last years, I have learned so much from you. You've taught me courage, determination, duty, faith, and hope. Courage is Jessica Allen, one of the very first caregivers Senator Elizabeth met all those years ago at Walter Reed. Jess valiantly took on the care of her husband, Chaz, who returned from Afghanistan having lost both legs. And she was courageous enough to be honest about her experiences, even to a former US Senator. Little did Jess know from their chats in the hospital, she would be helping to start a movement. Because when Mrs. Dole sees a problem that needs fixing, as Jess says, she keeps going and going. She is not stopping, not stopping. I see determination in Pat Ochan, who, while caring for her husband Jimmy and raising their son William and working, also managed to get her PhD in Homeland Security Management. And Dr. Ochan is here tonight. And I witnessed astonishing faith and hope in the story of Colleen Rose. Colleen nursed her husband John through devastating burn injuries, only to be badly injured herself years later in a serious accident at a veterans parade of all places. But the challenges kept on coming. She was then diagnosed with breast cancer. But Colleen and John, though they had every reason to, never gave up hope. And they shared with me the joy of expecting their first child after a long fertility journey. I met them just as they were learning their happy news and taping up that first ultrasound on their wall. And little Declan just turned 2 in April. Colleen is with me tonight, but John is on daddy duty. Courage, determination, faith, and hope. These are the qualities I have seen in every family I've met. But above all, what I see in you, what I really see is love. Every person here tonight, every caregiver at home, every veteran, you are showing the world what love looks like, what love acts like, what love gives, and what love sacrifices. It is love of country that calls our service members to duty. And it is love that propels mothers and fathers, spouses, siblings, and children to hold them and care for them when they return with wounds seen and unseen. Without a dime of pay, without any recognition or renown, without expecting any fanfare or acclaim, our caregivers, you, pour yourselves into the hard, sometimes back-breaking work of healing. This can be literally carrying a wounded hero or performing tasks they can no longer perform for themselves. It can be protecting those with invisible wounds from their triggers or their darkest thoughts. It can be navigating seemingly endless phone calls and paperwork to get veterans the care that they need. It is a 24/7, 365-day responsibility which so many caregivers manage while working or going to school or raising families or running households. And by the way, just shout out to every military spouse, okay? Including my sister-in-law, Christine, who held it down with 2 girls while my brother served 27 years as an F-16 pilot. And Christine and my big brother, Cameron, Colonel Cameron Guthrie, are here tonight, and you know how proud I am of you. This comes from my heart because of you. Caregivers prove day in and day out, love is not just something you feel, it is something that you do. You inspire me. You make me want to live up to your example. You are my heroes. You're my heroes, but you are not hidden. So many of you have told me over these years that the hardest times have been when you felt isolated or unseen or alone. Well, I'm here to tell you, you are not alone. We see you. We honor you. We revere your sacrifice. And we are determined to care for you as well as you have cared for those who so bravely answered the call of our country. Thank you, Senator Elizabeth, for inviting me into this movement. You honor me by believing that I could be part of this good work. And to Tom, wherever you may be on your Tom Cam, thank you for being my friend, still can't believe that, and for being an inspiration. You showed me the way. You showed me what it means to give your whole self, holding nothing back to a cause that you care deeply about. Like all of you tonight, I am missing Senator Bob tonight. But his devotion to veterans remains the bedrock and the beating heart of this mission. We will keep telling your stories, we will keep shining a light, and we will keep faith with you as you have kept faith with our service and our nation. Thank you very much for this beautiful honor.
Will you keep her on for a second while I go to the podium? Congratulations, Savannah. Let's hear it for Savannah Guthrie again. Now, I want to hear the loudest round of applause in this room. How about Tom Hanks as our host tonight? To Jocko Sims. And I'm a little biased, but to my favorite, Senator Elizabeth Dole. She's why we're all in this room tonight. She started this whole thing. It's been incredible. It's been amazing. I felt the energy and the spirit in this room. We're not quite done yet. We got a little bit of music to do. I want to just let everybody know, for those of you who filled out your cards and didn't have a chance to hold them up on your way out, you can drop those pledge cards in our pop-up shop. We'll have EDF staff there to collect them from those of you that want to be supportive. Now, let's get ready for our headliner. He's going to get set up, so give us about a minute. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to hear from Chris Young.
All right, well, let's get started. Here we go. 3. Tuxedo waiters, black tie, white tablecloths and red wine. We've been planning this night, looking forward to it for some time. Honey, I know you love getting dressed up, and you know I love showing you off, watching your baby blue eyes dancing in the candlelight glow. All I can think about is getting you home. Walking through the front door, seeing your black dress hit the floor. Under sure ain't nothing like you loving me all night long. And all I can think about is getting you home. Need this menu, no I don't. I already know just what I want. Did I hear you right? Did you tell me? Go with the waiter and let's leave. Now honey, I know by that look in your eyes and your hand drawing hearts on mine that are not house ain't gonna last too long, when all you can think about is getting me home. Walking through the front door, seeing your black dress hit the floor. You're under sure ain't nothing like you loving me all night long. And all I can think about is getting you home. Walking through the front door, seeing your black dress hit the floor. And there sure ain't nothing like you loving me all night long. And all I can think about, yeah, all I can think about, all I can think about is getting you home. What's up, guys? My name is Chris Young. It's my honor and my pleasure to be here hanging out playing some music for you guys tonight. What an absolutely incredible night to be a part of. I, for those of y'all that don't know me, am a country artist. Surprise. I've got a bunch of different songs that I've had out over the years that I've been lucky enough to see climb the charts on the radio. This one was pretty cool, though, because I didn't pick this one. Somebody at my label did, and I was like, well, we'll see if it works. And luckily it did. skies don't seem so blue, and the stars seem to be a little dimmer too. Now that you're around, you put them all to shame. Let me break it down, 'cause what I'm trying to say is no one gets me like you, and you kiss me. Girl, you rock me harder than some downtown band. I thought I knew what love was, but I didn't have a clue. I've never found anything that makes me feel like I do about you. Got a whole new direction, it seems these days. I used to rush on to work and get home late, but now I show up late and I rush back home. My priorities are different, I can't leave you alone. No one gets me like you, and you kiss me. Girl, you rock me harder than some downtown band. I thought I knew what love was, but I didn't have a clue. I never found anything that makes me feel like I do about you. If you ever get to kissing, if I'm thinking about you, just remember that no one gets me like you, and you kiss me. Girl, you rock me harder than some downtown man. I thought I knew what love was, but I didn't have a clue. I've never found anything that makes me feel like I do about you. Introduce these guys that are up here on stage with me real fast. You wanna go first, right? On my right, y'all's left. Y'all give it up for Mr. Ryan Haas. From the great state of Virginia, Mr. Kevin Collier. Yeah, no one gets me like you kiss me. Girl, you rock me harder than some downtown man. I thought I knew what love was, but I didn't have a clue. I've never found anything that makes me feel like I do about you. So I got to play the serious song real fast. Like I said, I was lucky enough to have both of those be hits at country radio. They were both #1. This one did not go to #1. But man, it sold a bunch of records, and it's one of those songs that's really, really important to me. I wrote this about a buddy of mine that tragically passed in the middle of the night, and I never got to say goodbye to him. This was like my brother. This was the guy my parents would set an extra plate out at dinner and be like, is Adam coming? Is he coming this weekend? And I'm sure he's laughed his butt off at me from up there, because this is the only song that's ever made me cry on stage. I'm not going to do it tonight, but I am going to play the song, and it's always in remembrance of him. So if this touches any of you guys, if you've heard it before, if you haven't, love you for that. It's called Drowning. Still got your number in my phone, and even though you don't know and listen, I still call and wait till the tone, just to hear you say leave a message. Since you've been gone, I've tried to find different ways to grieve. There's days that I don't even want it on my mind, but tonight I'm weak, so I'm gonna pull out pictures, ones with you, and laugh and cry a little while reminiscing by myself. I can't help it, all I think about is how you were taken way too soon. It ain't the same here without you. I gotta say, missing you comes in waves, and tonight I'm drowning. I know you're in a better place. One day I'll see you again, but it's killing me we can't be face to face. I miss my best friend, so tonight I'm gonna pull out pictures, ones with you, and laugh and cry a little while reminiscing by myself. I can't help it, all I think about is how you were taken way too soon. It ain't the same here without you. I gotta say, missing you comes in waves, and tonight I'm drowning. Yeah, tonight I'm drowning. I know it's a part of life, but I wasn't ready to say goodbye. So tonight I'm gonna pull out pictures, ones with you, and laugh and cry a little while reminiscing by myself. I can't help it, all I think about is how you were taken way too soon. It ain't the same here without you. I gotta say, missing you comes in waves, and tonight I'm drowning. Yeah, tonight I'm drowning. All right, now we got to do a happy song after that one. Sorry, guys. drinking too much beer. So baby, tell me, would it be alright if we just take a little rain check and stay right here? I'm sure we could find something to do. It's a matter of black, baby, why don't you grab a couple glasses and a bottle of wine? Walk down the hall and turn down the lights. And baby, while you're at it, you might as well let down your hair. And I can take it from there. I won't put no record on. Can't wait with you, girl, I'd love to lay it down. Feel the ringer on your telephone. Ain't gonna stop loving you till the candle burns out. Is that little smile of yours? Come on, baby, what you waiting for? Grab a couple glasses and a bottle of wine. Walk down the hall and turn down the lights. Baby, while you're at it, you might as well let down your hair. And I can take it from there. Now tomorrow's gonna be here way too soon. Let's not waste another minute. Girl, I got plans for me and you. So grab a couple glasses and a bottle of wine. Walk down the hall and darling, turn down those lights. Baby, while you're at it, you might as well let down your hair. And I can take it from there. Yeah, I can take it from there. I can take it from there. I love you too. Thank you. I'm never going to not respond to that one. Come on. That's so, like I said, sort of at the beginning of this, for those of y'all that don't know me, I've been around for quite a while. I've been lucky enough to stick around. I've been on one record label my whole career. I've been there for 17 years next year on RCA, which is Sony. And I've just been incredibly lucky to get to meet really cool people and get to do really cool things. And one of those is I get pitched songs before other people get to hear them. So I get to them first. And I like that a lot. This song in particular, I got a chance to sing this when two of my really, really good friends, one of them being my best friend, got married. This was their first dance as husband and wife. So this song always means a whole lot to me. And I didn't write it. Normally I write or co-write my own stuff or produce it. This one I just found and was like, I need that song before anyone else gets a hold of that, okay? And I'm so grateful that I got to do this one. It's called Who I Am With You. I've seen it all. I've been around. I've been lost and I've been found. Who I am with you is who I really want to be. You're so good for me. And when I'm holding you, it feels like I've got the world in my hands. Yeah, a better man is who I am with you. Yeah, I got a ways to go. just right. You make me laugh, you make me high, make me wanna hold on tight. 'Cause who I am with you is who I really wanna be. You're so good for me. When I'm holding you, it feels like I've got the world in my hands. Yeah, a better man is who I am with you. Yes, who I am with you. Because of you, I'm a lucky man. You're the best part of who I am. Yeah, who I am with you is who I really want to be. You're so good. You're so good for me, baby. And when I'm holding you, it feels like I've got the world in my hands. Yeah, a better man is who I am with you. Yes, who I am with you.
And now they have to retune again. I mean, I appreciate it. I'm sure they do too. They want you guys to be in tune when we start playing. I think I'm gonna leave. I just had that one drink, and we've all gotta be up early, boys. We ought to shut her down, just take it to the house before anybody starts getting crazy. So I started walking across the floor, but before I got to the door, oh no, somebody just bought a shot of that Patron. Hang on, I just might have to stay on. Oh, look at the time, y'all, having to cold on, long gone. I should be halfway on, but on. Girl, I saw you come in with all of your girlfriends. Just couldn't have been shooting Bacardi. Got my boys with me, we're just pulling on steam, not looking to pick up anybody. So I was gonna walk on by, you turned around and we locked eyes. Oh no, do you hear that song? One that just came on. Come on, DJ, would you trying to do. Oh no, it would be so wrong if we didn't pass one show on those dreams we planned on. I didn't mean to be here this long, but I'm trying to leave, so it ain't my fault. No, I didn't mean to be holding you. Tell me, what was I supposed to do? Somebody just bought a shot of that Patron. Hang on, we've been here all night long. Oh no, it will be so wrong. We didn't ask one more song. Show on those dreams you planned on. Oh no, yeah, those dreams you planned on. Oh no. Thank you. I'm having fun. I'm just enjoying myself. I have no idea. I think this is our last one that we get to do for y'all, but I'll sit here and play all night long if we're already here, we're already plugged in. But I was trying to think of what song I would play at the very end of this, just because of how awesome a night this is, and it's honoring people that maybe don't get recognized nearly as much as they should. And this song kind of encompasses that thought. And so I figured this would be the perfect song for me to play before I got out of here. It's just a song called Famous Friends. So. Buddy Brandon holds a record for single season touchdown throws. And good old Johnny, he's alive of every party. It's like cheers, they know him everywhere he goes. I've got some famous friends you probably never heard of. Back in Rutherford County, our ground is second to none. You might not know in this big city we're in, but when I go back home, I got some famous friends. Yeah, I do. My buddy Jason, he's a sheriff. He'll flash his lights, but let me go. My boy Randy's a preacher. My girl Megan, she's been teacher of the year. I swear for 5 years in a row. I've got some famous friends you probably never heard of. Back in Hamilton County, our ground is second to none. You might not know me here in this big city we're in. When I go back home, I got some famous do. I got friends in high places on these small town roads. 'Cause round here it's all about the people that you know. Got some famous friends you probably never heard of. Back in Davidson County, our crowd is second to none. You might not know me here in this big city we're in. When I go back home, I got some famous friends. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. You might not know me here in this big city we're in. When I go back home, I got some famous friends. I got some famous friends. Thank you guys very much. Thanks for letting me be a part of a really special night. It was my honor to be here. Kevin, Ryan, my name's Chris. I'll see y'all down the road.
Let's hear it for Chris Young, everybody. Chris Young.